Hey everybody, Scoots here, and if you've been listening to Sleep With Me for longer than a year, you probably know me pretty well. You probably develop preferences about the show, favorites, maybe you build your own playlist in your podcast app. Maybe you've kind of, I'm a part of your life. I'm a part of your routine, and I'm hoping if you've been listening over a year, this is the time you're listening to me and hearing me right now, and you're not changing your mind about supporting the show, but realizing, hey, I haven't listened. Holy cow, how have I not supported this podcast? How have I not at least tested out Sleep With Me Plus? Because it's built with long-term listeners in mind. If you've never supported the show or you stopped and you're thinking about coming back, maybe like Timothy said, Scoots, I'm a full-time caregiver and, person I care for, and I discovered the podcast, and we love listening to the ad-free content. Or John that said, I see and feel how much you love doing this podcast as your vocation. I'm going to help do my part to keep that a reality. So can you take part in this too? Now, if you decided you're not going to support the show or you're not in a position, you could still root with me. This is like the closest thing to Sleep With Me sports. We're rooting that there is someone listening. Maybe it's you. Maybe can you feel all those other listeners rooting for you? Or are you doing the rooting and saying, yeah, I've been listening 4 years. I've been listening 2 years. It is time for me to support the show. Well, we're rooting for you, and I hope you're hearing me. I hope you're listening. And if you're not the person I'm talking to, I hope you're rooting with me that person is hearing me. Because we really could use your support. And you could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. And here's the thing. There's a 7-day trial, so you could cancel after 6 days if it doesn't meet your expectations. But if you've been listening over a year, I need you to either root for that person, or maybe you are that person that's going to support the show right now at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks.
This show is supported by Blue Land. You've probably heard that most of us are eating a credit card's worth of plastics every week. But you probably don't know that you're cleaning with microplastics every day. It's time to make the switch to Blue Land. Blue Land is on a mission to make it easy for everyone to make sustainable choices. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blue Land's formulas are 100% microplastic free, made with certified clean ingredients, and free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals. All Blue Land cleaning products are safe to use around your family, your pets, your plants. Plus, Blue Land was named an EPA Safer Choice Partner of the Year, so they're good for the planet as well. Blue Land is trusted in over 1 million homes by people who love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets their home clean. Blue Land has a special offer for listeners. Right now, get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/PRX. Make the switch to Blue Land now by going to blueland.com/PRX for 15% off. That's blueland.com/PRX to get 15% off. This show is supported by Odoo. When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster that's going into a new domain. But I don't mean where you the URL domain and domain. I don't know. Domain's such a I don't feel like it's a loaded word in this case. I feel like there should be if I'm going into a new domain, I feel like I should stop in like a throne room and say get my assignment. I guess I associate it with role-playing games. In this case, it's related to content. And, this content is going to be so pointless and boring and meandering because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that's here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. It's time for Sleep With Me, your friend in the deep dark night. If you're lonely in the deep dark night, if you got thinking... physical sensations, feelings, emotions keeping you awake. I'm here to be your friend keep you company and take your mind off of stuff, to cut through that and distract you from it and just talk to you and tell you a little story. Or look at a Buster Keaton movie in a little while. This show's very different. It does take a few tries to get used to. That's just what most regular listeners say. So see how it goes. I'm so glad you're here. What we got coming up is support. That's how a show comes out free twice a week. And there is a lot of people that benefit from the ad-supported free podcast. And then there'll be a long meandering intro, which is not part of the support. It's meant to ease you into bedtime, get you ready for bed, slowly lower the volume on the day. And then later on, we'll be talking about a Buster Keaton movie. And just see how it goes. I'm here to take your mind off stuff. Ideally, you just wake up tomorrow and say, what was he talking about? Did he talk about, was he talking about those Buster Brown shoes again? Or Michael Keaton, and I think he pitched a movie where Buster Brown is played by Michael Keaton, and I don't remember anything else about it. It doesn't make any sense, but I slept great. So that's what Sleep With Me is. I'm so glad you're here. And welcome to Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And these sponsors are how we're able to do it for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots here, and I know you might be getting ready. You're getting in bed, you're getting comfortable. If you fall asleep fast, it's critical you listen. If you fall asleep fast, this show's kind of designed to put people to sleep over a 20 or 30-minute period, but that's great. You're an exception to the rule. You fall asleep fast. That is awesome. But we need people who fall asleep fast to support the show. There's just no other way for us to pay the bills. And I don't know if you're the one I'm trying to get through to that's listening to me, that's hearing me right now for the first time, you're making that connection. Holy cow, I fall asleep in 5 minutes. I never thought about what it takes to make this show. I never thought about that it needs my support. Or maybe you're one of the people rooting for that person. Man, I hope that person's out there that's going to support the show because it makes my life better. I just can't support the show. But I know there's someone out there who is. Like Tiffany Y, who said, just because you could get something for free doesn't mean you should. I know if I have trouble sleeping, I just have to listen. I'll be out in no time. That's definitely worth a few dollars a month. I'm pretty sure if you try it out and you fall asleep fast, you're going to have a great experience. And you could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But like I said, if you're not in a place to support the show right now, you've decided you're not going to support the show, then Root With Me is that fall asleep fast listener listening and hearing me right now. We just happen to catch you and we're rooting for you. Root for them together because we need your support. Are you hearing us cheer for you and you say, wait, no, that is me. That is me. Just like Tiffany. I had no idea. Of course I want to support the show. It's changed my life so much for the better. So if you're that person, you'll be the hero, the heroine, the champion we're looking for, that we're rooting for, because you're not alone. We're all rooting for one another together here in the deep dark night. Thanks. All right, everybody, this is Scoots here, and we're talking about Buster Keaton. We're going to watch a Buster Keaton film here in a minute, or I am, and I'm going to relay some information to you about Buster Keaton. We're going to be watching Sherlock Jr., which is now in the public domain, so you can find it and watch it wherever you are. Let's see. So this is from the Wikipedia page. Buster Keaton, Joseph Frank Buster Keaton, 1895 to 1966, actor, comedian, director, best known for silent film work, deadpan expression with physical comedy. And Roger Ebert wrote of Keaton's extraordinary period from 1920 to 1929, where he worked without interruption. And Ebert said the greatest actor, director in the history of the movies. In 1996, Entertainment Weekly recognized Keaton as the seventh greatest film director. And let's see a little bit more. Let's find out the history. So early life in vaudeville. Keaton was born into a vaudeville family in Kansas. His mother, Myra, and I don't see his father's name here, but he was named Joseph to continue his tradition on his father's side. I guess he was the sixth in line, bearing the name Joseph Keaton. And Frank for his maternal grandfather. Let's see here. We've got They traveled doing performances. He started he got the nickname as he started performing on stage. Starting at the age of 3, they were the Three Keatons. 1899 in Delaware was the first performance on stage, a comedy sketch. Then the silent film era. Let's see. Keaton spent the summers 1908 to 1916 at an actors colony in Muskegon, Muskegon, Bluffton neighborhood of Muskegon, with other famous vaudevillians. Then met Roscoe Arbuckle at Talmadge Studios in New York. And I guess his father, Joe Keaton, disapproved of films. Keaton also had reservations, but Arbuckle said, "Hey, let's get in here." And Keaton was such a natural. In his first film, he was hired on the spot. At the end of the day, he has to borrow one of the cameras to get a feel for how it worked. And he was soon Arbuckle's second director in the gag department. He worked on 14 Arbuckle shorts into 1920. And he wasn't deadpan in these necessarily. He smiled and laughed in them. Keaton and Arbuckle became friends. And let's see, Keaton had his first starring role in 1920. Then, started filming in movies, a bunch of different movies. Then I guess these were shorts. Then went to full-length features. Worked with different writers. Switched studios. So there's a lot of stuff here. I want to get in the movie. I was just trying to figure out. I'll link to this here because it's so extensive. But yeah, let's get into the movie. How about it, eh? Okay, so this movie is Sherlock Jr. Maybe I should look that up. 1924, Sherlock Jr. Keaton is a director and star. Oh, I don't have internet because I'm in a car. So yeah, we'll just start playing the movie, right? How about it, Scoots? Sounds good, Scoots. You just minimize the screen though. Let's maximize it, eh? Old Open App, was that Command F or Open Apple F? Not sure. Okay, let's mute it. I don't even know. I'm assuming there'll be things. The movie's about 44 minutes long, and she's getting rolling in the background here. Buster Keaton and Sherlock Jr., directed by Buster Keaton, and Gene Havez, Joe Mitchell, and Clyde Bruckman's story. Elgin Lessie and Byron Hawk, photography. And you can see some film grain on the copy I have here. Playing 1924 copyright. Interesting, because I thought, was it 2023? So I don't know. I guess this movie was passed by the National Board of Review. Not sure what that means. There's an old proverb which says, "Don't try to do two things at once and expect to do justice to both." Kind of reminds me of Sleep With Me in a sense. This is a story of a boy who tried it while employed as a moving picture operator in a small town theater. He was also studying to be a detective. So this will be interesting. A little story. And but that's one of the theories behind Sleep With Me, though, is that you can't think about two things at once. I don't know if it's, say we open on a theater, the lights are up, and there's someone in the back reading a book, How to Be a Detective. His eyes are scanning the page. He closes the book. He's frowning, licks his thumb. Puts his thumbprint on the book. He's trying to see it through a magnifying glass. Now rereading. But the theater's a mess, and now we have a grouchy guy. Say, Mr. Detective, before you clean up any mysteries, clean up this theater. This guy's in a suit. He was reading a book and walking, too. There's a couch at the back of the theater. Catherine McGuire is the girl in the case. So now we cut to, a dog and a woman. She's feeding the dog. So the girl's father had nothing to do, so he got a hired man to help him. I don't know what that means. We're back at the theater. Some of the movies playing The Fog today. Hearts and Pearls or The Lounge of Lizards, Lost Love in 5 parts. He just swept everything into a pile, but he didn't clean up the pile. And next week, there's another movie next week. I can't make it out. He's going over to the cigar and candy store. There's $1 per box for candy, $3 per box for a little bit fancier candy. Across the street is Arden Grocery. He has nothing in there but newspapers. Very, he's a handsome man, I would say, Buster Keaton. He says, would you take $2 for the fancy candy? And the woman working there says, no. She smiles and watches him walk off. He does some more sweeping of stuff. There's a piece of newspaper caught on his broom. Now it's caught on his foot, so we're getting some physical comedy. Now it's caught in his other foot. And this reminds me of trying to put, being in the bathroom. You get a piece of wet toilet paper stuck on your foot. Oh, then that's funny. So his boss comes out and he put it down so his boss would step on it. And he goes out. Okay, now another guy's at the candy shop. He's looking at the $3. His pockets are also empty. He has a bowler cap on. He checks all his pockets, 6 pockets, checks them twice, and doffs his cap to the woman working the candy shop and walks off. And Buster Keaton just found $1 in the garbage he was cleaning up. So he pulls $2 more out, puts his coat on, and somebody else comes and starts looking through there. And she says, I lost $1. Did you find it when you were cleaning up? Oh boy, this is a big moment. He says, in there? Huh. And he says, describe it. And she goes, well, it's a rectangle. Definitely a rectangle. And it's got some numbers on there, like that one. She goes, oh, yeah, that's so great. She folds it up and walks off. He's got $2, though. He even put on his coat, which he kept in a garbage can. Now another person's looking, an older woman. She was blowing her nose on something. And she says, I lost $1. He says, well, interesting. He's on his knees now. He's got a tie on and a pork pie hat. And he describes it, $1, okay, stuff on it. Here you go. What a nice guy. He gives her the $1. It was his $1. Then he uses her used handkerchief to wipe his eyes. Then she takes it back and goes off. Now he has $1. And he's kind of bummed out. He's looking at his $1. Now another person is looking through the garbage, and he just stares at him silently. And he just hands him the $1. And the guy goes, hey, get over here. And then he gives it back to him. He goes, no, I'm looking for something else other than $1. He finds a wallet full of like a lot of money. And then walks off. And then Keaton looks through again. Nothing in there. Gets up, checks his pocket. Still got $1. Cigars, confectionery. I think there's a gum thing. He goes in. They also have tables. And he buys the $1 box of candy, heads off down the street. He tries to get rid of the price tag. Oh, he changes it to $4 with a pencil. Now he skips down to a house, rings a bell. The girl that we saw having a picnic with the dog earlier comes to the door, says, come on in. And they want they're kind of awkwardly greeting each other, standing next to each other. She goes, "You want to go in the parlor room?" He's hiding the candy. She says, "Yeah." Then actually, the guy with the bowler cap that bought the $3 thing, he walks into the house. I don't know if that's her father, but he stops at the parlor. He sees them sitting side by side. Keaton hands her the candy. The other guy's watching. Then he turns it over so she could see that it costs $4. This guy's kind of listening in and watching. He's got a three-piece suit on. He starts going through Buster Keaton's jacket. He steals, he takes somebody's watch, and then leaves. And I think Buster Keaton just tried to put a foil, engagement ring on the young woman. She says, "Is this for me?" And she looks at it and she says, "Oh, it's actually an engagement ring. It's a very, very, very small comedically small diamond." She's trying to see it. He gives her a magnifying glass. And then she's still trying to see. He kind of like, they're moving. There's like a lot of physical comedy with like the magnifying glass. And she's still not able to see the diamond. Goldman. Then we see the pawn shop. The guy sold the watch that he took at the pawn shop. She puts her hand on with the thing. Now they're doing the old awkward should we hold hands thing. This guy goes back and buys a $3 giant box of candy. Now their like hands are on top of each other. Nope, Buster Keaton takes his hand back. He's too nervous. And he's holding his hands within a hand. She puts her hand back down like, "Hey, hold my hand already." He puts it down. They both jump. This is really, really good comedy. Then this other guy comes in. I guess he's the competition. He's got a giant box of chocolate. And he goes, "How about this? Why don't we go in another room and talk?" She goes, "Well, I got to take this giant box of chocolate. I'll be back." Closes the curtains. Keaton's by himself. He's pacing around. He's tapping his legs. Now he jumps up. He's going to watch them. He opens the curtains. The guy's showing off his candy. Keaton doesn't like it, so he charges in. He says, "Look, I gave her a box of candy first." He goes, "Yeah, I got more candy. Take a banana." He literally hands him a banana. He says, "Go in the other room with this banana." The other dude, Keaton opens the banana. Interesting. Oh, he puts the banana peel down to the other guy. He says, "Hey, come on in here. Let's see if this banana peel thing works. Just come over here closer." The guy goes, No. The other guy cuts a John Cleese, like he does look a bit like John Cleese. So I don't know if John Cleese watched one of these movies. Keaton forgets about the banana peel. Great slip. Does a little dance move. Sits down. Now a third person comes in. Oh, the girl's father and his coworker. And he says, "Hey, by the way, my pocket watch is missing from my vest. Someone has taken my watch without my permission," which we already know. We know what happened. Mother's there, the coworker, Buster Keaton. Oh, interesting. So he pulls out his how to be a detective thing. The John Cleese guy is like, sees Buster Keaton reading, "Rule 1, search everybody." But this guy's reading over his shoulder, so he's like one step ahead. I think he has a receipt from the, he just planted the receipt on Buster Keaton from the pawn shop. And he says, "Hey, it looks like we better call in the authority figures to deal with this. How about that?" And the father says, "Darn right, I will." And Buster Keaton says, "Hold on. I'll take charge of this. Let's start by checking everybody out and see what they have on them. Everybody empty their pockets, please." But he starts with the girl's father. He goes, "Dude, I'm the one with I'm the one that lost the watch. So hold your horses." So yeah, the dad says, "Yeah, I'm the one that lost the watch. So don't be searching me, man. Or checking my pockets." So then he goes on to the dad's coworker, the mother, John Cleese, and nothing in his pockets. Then he checks his date's pockets, nobody's pockets. Then he reaches his hand into mine. The other guy says, "Why don't you check yourself, dude?" And the guy goes, "Dude, and then he goes, "Yeah, go ahead and check me out, man." And they see like a watch and a chain, $4, 10/23/24 is the date of the sale. And the guy goes, "Is this a pawnbroker receipt?" And everybody's like, "Wait a second, $4. So a box of candy costs $3. But then the irony is that Buster changed his price of his thing from $1 to $4, which is the exact. Will Smith actually is the person who signed for it at the pawnbroker. Then his date says, "I'm incredibly upset by this. I'm going to walk off slowly." Father says, "Sorry, you're not welcome here." Holy cow. Don't want to see you here again, ever. And he says it gently, though. He even taps his lapel. And Buster Keaton, then the dad says, no, please leave. And Keaton's kind of taking his time. John Cleese guy's playing with his hat. Then he walks off, hat in hand. His date's at the door. She's frowning. Like nice wind coming in. I don't know if it's from the front door or a fan. Takes off her engagement ring and hands it to him. And it's like, he's got, holy cow, you realize that, puts it in his pocket. This is where his deadpan expressions are like really good. I mean, he really looks, she's crying. Now he's outside. By the way, house numbers 1022 maybe. John Cleese comes out. Keaton says, "Oh, wait a second." He was standing on the porch frowning. Now he goes to 2. Follow whoever you think it might be. Rule 5 of how to be a detective. So he's following him, like literally, like 1 foot behind him. In their the John Cleese character is very tall. He picks up a cigar off the ground. Really good physical comedy and camera work. And now they cross a dirt street. They get to a train. Now Keaton's still Oh, yeah. You like they're in like a train yard. They're like reattaching train steam. This is really good. I sorry I made that noise, but it was like it was so unexpected. Then okay, he's trying to follow him, and then John Cleese notices he's following him. So Keaton goes into a ventilated boxcar, and John Cleese closes the door behind him, and then he pops his head out of the boxcar. Now he's on top of the boxcar, walking at the speed of the train, just to stand. So he's literally walking to stand still. A really, really good effect, and one we've seen in another movie recently. Then he does oh boy, he gets soaking wet because the thing to fill the water for the steam engine, he's on it. He pulls it down, and he gets soaked. Then he knocks 2 train workers off of a train bicycle. They chase after him. As a detective, he was all wet, so he went back to see what he could do at his other job, like his real job that he gets paid for. And so I don't know if he was supposed to be doing anything there. It turns out a projectionist also has to clean up. Now he's in the projectionist booth. Takes off his jacket. He's down clearly. He's getting the movie ready. He checks the film. First projector, opens the thing. Full packed house. And someone's playing the music. Now the young woman goes down to the pawnbroker. She turns in the receipt. "Can you describe the man who pawned this watch?" And the guy says, "He's tall, mustache." There he is. He looks just like John Cleese. So she sees him, but he doesn't see her. She runs off again. Okay, we get back. Movie starts. Hearts and Pearls. There's an organist. Hearts and Pearls opens on a house. Buster Keaton is supposed to get the second projector ready, I think. He looks at his book. He's yawning. Puts his elbow up on the other projector. Falls asleep. With his head in his hand. A guy in a suit is looking at pearls. He puts them in a case, a safe. And again, another guy looks like Jack Nicholson. This is in the movie Hearts and Pearls. Buster Keaton's asleep. Now he wakes up in a dream state. You see his dream self come out of his real self. His dream self makes sure the movie's still playing. And the characters are talking about something in the movie. And then I think he becomes, it's his date and him. Oh no, it's the John Cleese looking character. Is that, yeah. But this guy's a little bit more suave. And then he sees a dream self. He goes, hey, he goes, our date and the John Cleese like character are in the movie. And they seem to be billionaires or something. And she's going upstairs. He's following. Somebody else cleaning off their suit. That guy's got, what do they call those, tuxedo, when your tuxedo goes down the back, top hat, a cane. Keaton's still asleep, but his dream self is, I'm pretty sure that the projector's running out of film or something's not going right, but it's still playing in the theater. He walks into the theater. And so we see the theater and the movie playing and his dream self. He sits down in the middle of the theater in the aisle. He's watching the movie, and they're talking about pearls and romance, I think. Oh, yeah, now he says, hey, how about we kiss? He goes, wait a second. This is ridiculous. He jumps into the movie like... and it's a great seamless effect. And then he gets tossed back out of the movie. Then he gets a hiccups or something. Or I guess it's more like the Matrix. Then he goes back, tries to get back in the movie again. This time he's trying to sneak in the movie. He's even talking to the audience. He jumps into the movie again. It's at the front door of a house. Somebody with a cane and a top hat comes out. And he checks for his pocket watch. He goes, darn, left my pocket watch inside. Closes the door. Keaton knocks on the door of the house in the movie. Looks back at the audience into the theater. Then it changes to outdoors, and he's in a garden in a brick wall. He sits down. Then he goes to sit down. His chair's gone. Now he's on like the side of the road, busy street. A lot of people walk, and they're saying, hey, bub, get out of the way. A lot of traffic. Now he's pacing. Now he's on a mountain. He was pacing, and then he's on a mountaintop. So it's like every time the film shot changes, but he's not prepared for it, right? Because he's only a sleeping being. Looks over the edge, and now he's in a zoo with wildlife. And a great effect, forest section of the zoo. He's like, this is probably not the best place for me to be. Because... now he's in a desert. There's a lot of cactus. He's trying not to bump into the cactus. Then a train goes by at a very high speed that surprised him. And now he's watching the train just sitting there. Then he sat on a cactus. Yep, pulls a cactus out of his rear end. Now he's holding his rear end. Now he stands on a pile of dirt, looks around, sits down on the pile of dirt. Now he's on a rock in the ocean. He gets splashed by water. As a wave crashes over, now he stands up, sits back down, stands up, sits back down. Now he goes to jump in. Now he's in snow, and he jumps off a snowbank into a snowbank. So this is really good. I mean, especially like this is an effect. And also he's about to walk. Now he's on the edge of the movie. Goes to lean on a tree. He's back in the garden, falls down. There's a garden wall. He sits there, scratches his head. It fades out, fades back in on the two people, and we zoom in on them romancing. But they're mostly having a discussion about romance. And the John Cleese character says, why don't you exit the stage? And then the father guy is like, hey, by the way, my pearls are gone from my safe. Someone took them without my permission. And so now we have all the characters from the original watch thing. We see that the John Cleese character and the father's coworker are in cahoots. Father calls somebody. Say he's calling the famous Sherlock Jr., the world's greatest detective. We're totally going to be busted. And the guy says, don't worry about it. I got us covered, bruh. they go into the billiards room. He says, don't worry, never seen this before? I'm going to put two 13s, have 3 13 balls. And he shows the guy again. He goes, all right, I'm going to throw one outside. Oh, they have a little hidden surprise. So he goes, I got 2 of them. I just used one to show you the surprise. So we'll get this Sherlock Jr. play pool, and that'll be it for him. And he says, that's pretty complicated. Then he says, also, he goes, also, I put something in a seat there. So I have another, like, this is like a game of a role-playing game, like D&D. If he sits in this seat, then the decorations will fall on him and give him a surprise. So don't worry, we got this. Then the doorbell rings. The crime-crushing criminologist, they open the door, and there he is, top hat, gloves, very suave, cane, long coat, Dickensian, I'd say. Maybe striking the cut of the old David Copperfield or somebody, not Chester Copperpot. He's got a tuxedo on, as everybody does. And he walks up to everybody. He's looking at everybody very closely and staring in their eyes, over staring in everybody's eyes. Man, this guy is. And then he sees the safe. He goes, "Don't worry." The guy, "Don't bother trying to explain." He goes, "This is a simple case for me." And the dad kind of bows. He goes, "What do you mean simple?" Then the guy who's the butler, father's coworker, says, "Why don't you sit in this chair?" And he goes, "Well," and then the other guy goes, "I'm going to play some, why don't we play some pool?" And he goes, "Okay, I won't sit in the chair. I'll play some pool." Then the butler pulls out another thing. He's like, "Let me mix you a drink." You know what I'm saying? That won't be helpful either. And so he thinks that's smooth. He says, "Let me bring this over to you. Would you like a drink? Aperitif?" "Sure." And he looks at it, he almost takes a sip, but then he's so polite, he goes, "Hey, why don't you take that one?" And then the butler's like, "Don't drink it, man. Don't drink it." He's trying to do it behind Buster Keaton's back. Goes, "I think there's something in the drink." And the guy goes, "Yeah, it's your finger, dude." Goes, "All right, well, I'll take it out, throw it away." But Sherlock Jr.'s like, "That's interesting." Then they say, "Okay, how about billiards?" Goes, "Okay." Then he almost sits down again, but then it's his turn, so he doesn't quite sit down. Then the other guy, the butler, almost sits down by accident. Keaton's watching him. He knows something's up. He sinks one ball, and then the guy changes out the 2 13 balls. And he goes, "By the way, watch out for that 13 ball." You know what I'm saying? To John Cleese. He goes, "Sink everything but the 13. And Keaton's waiting for his turn. Oh, he's got like a bunch of balls. He's got to break up. They're all good, but gone together. Somehow he breaks up all the balls without hitting 13. Then he starts. He's not very good, but I don't know if he even accidentally made one of them, but just misses the 13 a few times. They're running out of the room. And he's like, "Has he got the ball yet?" And the other butler's like, No, he keeps missing them, dude." Then all the balls again are together, but he still misses the 13, which is funny. Waiting on him, missed again, obviously. He goes, "Are you sure?" They're like, now Keaton's aiming. Two balls are near 13. He aims right at 13, still misses, sinks 2 more balls or 1 ball. Then he's only got a few balls left. Sinks another one like a trick shot. Just missed, the butler says, but now he's going to do a trick shot over 13. Oh, around. He does like an English shot where he looped it around, even though 16 was in front of it now, or 13. Now there's only one left. 13 is the only one left. And he scratches, he jumps over 13, scratches. So It's the other guy's turn. I don't know why he took out another ball, though. Is that like a penalty? It's the other guy's turn, I think. Or is Keaton not playing by the rules? I mean, I guess maybe he took out his last ball he made. So John Cleese does not make a shot. So Keaton makes the whatever ball, 8 ball, I guess. They run out of the room again. Like, that was a close one, man. That was close. Only 13's left. And Keaton makes it and walks out. They're like, what the heck? How's that even possible? Then they go in. They check the 13. Did he switch it? How's this even? What in the? And then they go. They check the ball is gone. The ball they switched out is hidden. Then they almost set off the thing. Then the other guy's like so stressed he accidentally drinks the drink he mixed, or he's about to. He does. And then he's like, okay, an end of my game. Then we see Keaton, who has the 13. He shakes it. He realizes something's up. He almost drops it. By the next day, Mastermind had completely solved the mystery, with the exception of locating the pearls and finding the thief. Party har har. So this will be interesting, though, seeing how this resolves. He's going to have to, so we got like a movie within a movie situation here. Now he's got different gloves on. He's got an assistant, Gillette, who's ever ready, an ever ready gem, like a battery. Let's see, Gillette has a cane, hands it to, I guess he's getting dressed to go out on the town. So it's like his valet or something. Oh, he had a mirror, but it was like not a mirror. There's a giant safe. He checks his giant safe. It opens up. It's his front door. It's a bunch of those are gags, I guess. Those are good. He goes out in the world. Then we see him crossing the street, and then he's hiding behind a telephone pole. And the John Cleese character comes out. He's outside of like a corner store, but he doesn't go in the corner store. He goes into maybe a barber shop. I don't know. Nope, he goes into a house, goes up to the second floor, realizes he's being followed, takes off his hat, lays it down, and fakes like he went up on the roof, but hides in a closet. So then, what's his name goes up, Buster Keaton, Sherlock Jr. goes up on the roof, and then he locks him in the roof. Then Buster Keaton's on the roof, doors locked, get a great shot of the town, a lot of power poles, North Leaf's grocery. Guy gets back in his car. Buster Keaton's running around the roof, watching him get in the car, but he jumps onto a train thing and like uses it like an action move to lower himself into the car stealthily. Puts his feet up in the back seat. John Cleese's character can't even see anything except somebody else is behind them. So now we got 2 people. And then we go in and we see that they got pocket watches. And the Keaton's like, who's following me? And it's another guy. And it's like, hey, I'm your valet, man. I'm your assistant, Gillette. So then he has a magical... What is this? Oh, a costume. So Buster Keaton is like, okay, I'm going to go in undercover. Meanwhile, they're looking at all the loot, like John Cleese and his team, and including pearls. He puts something in the window, the case for the what do you call it? The costumes, but the door's open and they pull him into the room and they say, hey, what's the big idea, man? Got anything on you? He's like, oh boy, do I. They say, who do you think you are? Sherlock Jr.? He says, yeah. And they take his pocket watch. They pick his pocket from his pocket watch. Somehow he picks it back. So sleight of hand stuff. Then he has another one. He gives that one back. And everybody's confused. And he sits on the table silently. And the guy goes, why don't you look at that in the other room? There's somebody else in there. And he goes, yeah, that's the last guy. He goes, he's another detective, Sherlock 1. He goes, well, I'm Sherlock Jr. And he says, where's my date, man? I can't, just because I can't afford a $3 box of chocolates, doesn't mean you get to, how does that make you more dateable than me? Because this is the value system this film was made during. He goes, by the way, it's just a reality of the world. You can barely afford $1 chocolate. I can afford $3 chocolate. Fancier box, bigger box. Meanwhile, they're still talking on and on and on. His circle costume thing's still in the window. Oh, wow. Brilliant. So this is like another action movie thing that I'd never seen. I mean, I didn't realize how far back it was. This is at, whoops, I just hit the wrong button. It's at about 30 minutes into the movie. 32, let's see, 33. And I'll start playing it again. So what he does is he has this giant circle that looks like a trampoline, but it has a costume in it. He puts it in the window, then he dives out the window to get away, dives into the costume, so it is fully on his body. So when they run out of the apartment or their hideout, all they see, he's he's kind of like some regular person you just never take notice of. And so they just run right by him. I mean, it really works. Meanwhile, we also see that his date is like going to like a vacation cottage. So the other guy, the butler guy, is still fine. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the time. 34:20 right now. Yeah, we see the exterior. They say, Sherlock Jr., you're more like like he shows him the pearls even. Oh, he grabs the pearls, dives into the dress, dives out, even has a wig on. So, like, how did he get away? They don't realize that one other person is standing there. So then they start searching around, and the one guy walks up. He looks at the face of then now we got a little running race. He throws off the costume, but there's like 4 people chasing Keaton now, or Sherlock Jr. He uses the costume to make another. Now they're searching for him, but he's hidden. And then another person who's selling ties and watches. It's his assistant. He says, come hide in my tie box. So Gillette's selling, oh my gosh, it's another gag, like a magic trick. He dives through the box and looks like he dives through Gillette out a door. Amazing stunts. That was so in 2 minutes, you get 2 actions level stunts. Then we see that it's a secret door, and so he gets rid of 2 guys. He locks them out, but then another guy's chasing him. Now we got full speed action. Also have somebody on a motorbike. He says, you're running too fast, man. He goes, you got to pull over. You're running too fast. You're not allowed to run this fast. I'm on a motorbike. And Sherlock Jr. goes, I have Sherlock Jr. Then we realize it's Gillette again. He says, hop on the handlebars of my bike, dude. So then the other guy starts running away. Then we see the 4 dudes, but I think now we're there in a car. So again, very action. And then we got comedy. He's riding on the handlebars of a motorcycle. Oh my gosh. This gets better and better, man. Talk about rising action and the good use. So we're 36 minutes in this movie. So they're riding on a motorcycle. So he's doing like different bits while he's on the handlebars, like making casual conversation. Then they go over a bump. The driver, Gillette, of the motorcycle falls off. But Buster Keaton's still on the handlebars. And of course, he's not paying attention. So he's like, hey, could you slow down a little? And then they start riding through town, busy streets. He says, "Can you slow down, please?" He has no idea. So again, and then it's just like, oh my gosh, like again, just like a regular modern film. Wow, practical. You got effects. You got practical effects. They go through town. Somebody he like speeds by somebody with their laundry. They drop their laundry. Now they're going up into the country in the hills. He's still saying, "Slow down, man. Slow down." Then the bunch of guys are putting dirt on the road. They're throwing them. There's some sort of what do you call that rope tug of war going on. I don't know what this is gonna do. Oh, he goes through the rope. He starts pulling all the guys on the rope. Goes by a bunch of people drinking on picnic tables. So now they're mad at him. He's still dragging. Oh no! Then he loses those guys in a creek bed. Which is funny. Then there's a train trestle or a bridge. He's going over the bridge. Bridge isn't finished, but two trucks happen to go. So he does rolls over two trucks to complete the bridge. Bridge ends, but it ends just in time for him to just skate through. Then you got a road blocked by trees. And they're trying to get rid of the trees. Then he goes through a blockade. Then there's some sort of giant, I don't know what that is, some box mover. And meanwhile, he thinks that the other guy's driving. He's like, I can't believe you got us through all that, man. Now he's peacefully just riding along. Then they're coming by, again, they fly by cars, trains. Now they're in an orchard. This point, he's like, dude, what are you doing? And then he turns around. Of course, he sees there's nobody driving. Buffalo something. Okay, now the butler and his date, they're like, yeah, by the way, we were the ones that stole your dad's pearls. Hardy har har. Keaton, oh my gosh, again, another effect straight out of a thing. So this is at 39:31 on the one I'm watching. He's riding the motorcycle towards the hideout where his date is and the butler. The motorcycle is stopped by two logs. He's sitting down. He flies forward through a window and then connects through the window over a table into the butler and sends a butler to dreamland. Says to his date, okay, we better get out of here. Meanwhile, the other guys come. They climb out the window. They get in the other guy's car, and they try to make a getaway. So we got 5 minutes left here. Already the action's risen to a point. So now it's the little car chase. Keaton is not a very good driver. Again, this is all filmed on. I mean, there's multiple shots. There's moving, all the shots are moving. Some are stationary on the car. He's got the 13 billiard ball. He hands the wheel to her, throws a billiard ball, which puts her car out of commission. And four-wheel brakes. So this car has four-wheel brakes, I guess. So they're together. She's like, you got to be kidding me. They drive, the brakes are so effective that the car keeps going, even though the chassis or whatever, the bottom of the car stops. So then they're in a boat. Their car becomes a boat. And he gets out of the front door, realizes he's in the water. He didn't realize it till that point, falls in the water. She pulls him out of the water, closes the door, and, then he makes a sail from the convertible. Of course, I bet you we know what's going to happen next. But yeah, he's using the sail. The boat is actually moving. This is, again, they must have had to build this effect. He hands the pearls to her. She hugs him. Then he says, look at how beautiful these hills are as we're traveling through here. And then the boat stops floating and it goes underwater. And they're swimming. So he says, we better swim to shore because we're both fully dressed. And then he wakes up swimming at in the projection booth, falls off his stool. I'm sure that the movie stopped playing. Looks out. Nope, movie's still playing. Now he's awake. He starts thinking about things. Projectors are steaming. Now we have the father and his date. She's like, hey, I'm going to visit my... oh, no, that's his boss. She goes to visit him at work. She says, listen, I got to apologize. We've made a terrible mistake because I went to the pawn shop and asked who pawned my dad's watch. And they said, a man that looks like John Cleese in the future. But she says, it's going to take me longer to apologize than that. And then he's kind of speechless. He looks out back at the movie. And now he's going to try to imitate the movie because the guy in the movie is also trying to connect with his date. So he takes the guy takes both of her hands in his hands. So Keaton says, man, this looks like a good idea. So he takes his date's hands in his hands, like stacked on top. So it's like a 4-hand sandwich. Then he watches again, and the guy goes to kiss the top hand. Somehow her hand's on top of a 4-hand. It must be maneuvering, but yeah, so he kisses her hand, the back of her hand. Then he looks at the camera again. Then the woman looks back at him from the screen. Oh, and then the guy in the movie slips on the engagement ring. So he says, I'll do that too. But of course, he can't find it. And I think he finds something else. Maybe it's it. He slips on her finger and watches her, then looks back at the camera, and they kiss. In the movies, they kiss, like just a little longer than a peck, but not very long. Then he goes in for a kiss, but it's like he just pecks, and it's awkward. It looks like teeth squeezing peck. Then they hug in the movie, like a real embrace. And in the movie, they shortcut to the future where they have 2 twins. He says, is that how that worked? I never knew about that. And then he just scratches his head. And that's the end of the movie. So that's Sherlock Jr., our first Buster Keaton coverage. Hopefully it won't be our last. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And new experiment and Sleep With Me, shows. Thanks, Buster Keaton, and everybody else. Good night. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and this is a Tuck You In message. I don't know if you've been listening to episode after episode, or you just woke up, you're drifting in and out, but this is also a reminder the show is always here for you, as it has been since 2013. But I need to talk, just you and me. We got to talk for a minute if you're listening to me and hearing me right now. And you might have heard me talking about this before, but I do want to spell this out, that Sleep With Me, all of the funding to make Sleep With Me, everything that pays all of our bills and the costs of producing the show, 99% of that comes from listeners. We don't get any funding from outside sources or other entertainment companies or companies like music streaming companies or video streaming companies. We don't have any investors, and there's no other secret pipeline of support for Sleep With Me or almost every other podcast either. We get some money from sponsors that are direct response, meaning they base their sponsorship on the listeners that support them. A tiny bit from automated ads. But the majority of what keeps the show going comes from the people who get the most out of the podcast. Super listeners, ideally. And I don't know if you're a super listener. I don't know if you already made the decision you're not in a position to support the show. That's okay. Or you made the decision you're not going to support the show. That's okay, too. You could still take a part in this coming right up here. But if you didn't make one of those 2 decisions, we need support. Support from the people who benefit the most from the podcast. People that fall asleep fast. People that listen all night long. If we don't get more all-night listeners and people who fall asleep fast, the podcast won't be around. But we also need support from people that listen 3-4 nights a week. People have listened for a year or longer. And I'm just wondering if you're in one of those groups. The podcast has changed your life for the better, and it continues to change your life for better. And I'm trying to lay out the stakes without using kind of fear or stress, because while that is effective, right? The last round this month, I tried to use a more positive message, and we actually lost subscribers. But it's so tiring for me. It's almost like I'd rather lose the podcast than kind of keep having to do this sales pitch and say, well, if the podcast is going to go away, if that's the only way to get people to support the show, I don't know, it's really, really not fun for me. So instead of, the stakes are there. If you haven't decided and the podcast has changed your life for the better, the stakes are, we need some of you, maybe it's you, to support the show, or it won't be around. But instead of focusing on that, I want to talk about rooting, about sending positive energy, rooting in the deep dark night. I've been talking about this in the intro for years. And that's what I believe in. I believe in rooting for other people to get a good night's sleep. And maybe you're here, maybe you stuck around because someone out there, somebody who was struggling in the deep dark night just like you, was rooting for you. And you could feel that welcome when you got here. Or maybe you're one of those people who roots for other people who are struggling in the deep dark night. And here's what a couple people who did sign up in the last round of messaging said. Tiffany Y said, just because you can get something for free doesn't mean you should. I know if I have trouble for sleeping, I just have to listen. I'll be out in no time. That is definitely worth a few dollars a month. And Michelle F. said, this show is like cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia and a sleep aid all in one. I also consider it an art form, and I believe in compensating artists for their work. Timothy T. said, I'm a full-time caregiver, and the person I care for discovered your podcast, and we really like the ad-free content. It makes it easier to listen to. And then John R., who said, I'm a super listener, said, I had no idea how urgent it was. I'd been meaning to support the show, but I just never took the time. I realize now I've been unintentionally voting now. So I subscribed, and with feeling. So what I'm asking is, are you the one person everybody else is rooting for? Like, just to overcome whatever it is, putting it off or saying it doesn't matter, it matters, or somebody else is going to do it, or are you the person we're rooting for to support the show? Now, it's okay if you're not. Maybe you're rooting for yourself to get a good night's sleep as soon as this episode, maybe you're an all-night listener. Maybe you woke up and you're looking forward to falling asleep soon. If you are a super listener, we did build Sleep With Me Plus with you in mind. Ad-free episodes, ad-free story-only episodes, tons of different cool stuff. So I don't know if you're rooting for yourself, think about supporting the show on Sleep With Me Plus just so you get a better listening experience. But maybe you're rooting for somebody else out there. Maybe it's somebody this month, which we're rooting for, is people going back to school or who are impacted by the back-to-school season. It could be teachers, it could be parents, it could be students, it could be anybody dealing with increased traffic. Whatever it is, this beginning of this transitional season affects a lot of people. And we're rooting for all those people, whether they listen to the show or not. Or whether they're a super listener or a cat. They say, well, I just needed to get through the first couple weeks of school. We're rooting for all of them to get a good night's sleep. So you could root for those people. You could root for someone whose sleep struggles are just like yours, or you could receive the rooting, because I hope you can feel it right now. I'm rooting for you, but a bunch of other people are rooting for you right now across the world. But if you're the one we're rooting for that's like, yeah, I've been putting it off. Yes, Sleep With Me continues to change my life for the better. We're rooting for you to support the show. So they'll be around, not just for you, for every other person we're rooting for. You could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, because we need support, right? And you might be thinking someone else will do it. But what if, as has been said in the last couple months, time after time, what if that someone else is you, right? You're the someone else. Well, if you're that person, we're cheering you on here. don't let that resistance, and I know what the resistance feels like. I put it off. I say it doesn't matter. I say I'll do it tomorrow. Then I criticize myself. But just do it and see how it feels. And again, you could always cancel during the free trial or cancel after a month or two. But I'm so proud of the show. And this is how I want to try to get support for the show. If it doesn't work, I don't know what I'll do. But I'm going to keep trying this more positive but honest message where everybody can participate. And everybody can participate in giving and receiving. But it is like kind of like a needle in a haystack that we're looking for now, but we got to find it. So I don't know if you're the needle in the haystack or you're somebody snoozing in the haystack, or maybe you're a horse having a hay snack. I don't know. But thanks so much for listening, and good night.